Welcome to the Brit Lit Book Club podcast. Today is extra special. I have my friend Brittney joining me, and instead of our usual author deep dive, we're having a proper catch-up about all things British literature. We just went to Jane Austen's 250th birthday party together, and we recently saw the new Hamnet film, and Brittney has been on one of my book club tours, so we have so much to talk about. Okay, all right, welcome Brittney.
Hello, so excited to be here.
Welcome to the Brit Lit Book Club podcast.
That's
I'm
right.
excited that you're here too. Brittney, do you want to just tell everyone a little bit about yourself? Tell them about your podcast, what you do, maybe how we met.
Sure. So we met because we're neighbors and we go to church together, and our kids are very similar in age. So we're like, it's the trifecta of us. We should be best friends,
Yes,
and we are.
absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
but yeah, we met just during the height of COVID. We really didn't get to hang out too much at first, but then eventually, once we were allowed to interact with other people outside our house, it was awesome. And we just found out we had a lot in common. I love literature. I grew up reading a ton. I was that perfect age of the Jane Austen Renaissance of the 1995 Pride and Prejudice BBC version, and then onward fell in love, and it was just...
Plus Emma, right? We were just talking about the
Emma.
Gwyneth Paltrow, Emma, how that both influenced us and our dress choices.
My homecoming dresses were based on that movie.
Yeah, my 8th grade graduation dress is based on that movie.
Yeah,
so.
it's very important text towards my life. And when they are ingrained in your mind at that impressionable age, it is carried throughout your whole life. And you base everything off of that. And here I am. So
Yeah, that is very true. Well, yeah, I've literally based my entire life and career around British literature.
There we go.
I understand exactly what you mean. Let's talk a little bit about our tea, because that's always fun, right?
Yes.
I made Brittney some tea. She's over at my house. And we're having Bird and Blend's Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, which is yummy. I've smelled it at the store. This is the first time I've tasted it, and it's really good. It's got apple pieces, hibiscus, elderberries, chamomile, nettle, rose petals, rosehip, lavender, jasmine bloom, and so all kinds of flowers.
very sweet.
Very floral.
It's really good.
I'm trying to figure out what makes it so sweet in there. Probably the apple.
Probably the apple.
Yeah.
That would do it. Do you, but Bed Knobs and Broomsticks, by the way, is a fabulous movie.
Yes.
If you have not seen that, if you are of the younger generations and do not know what that movie is, so good. Watch it with your kids.
Yes, go watch it.
I get chills the last act still to this day when they,
I
I won't say why. You'll know. You'll know it when you see it, but it's it does things to me. It's amazing. So
I still love the music.
Yes.
I'm singing Portobello Road.
Yes.
At least once a week. I don't know why.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
Very catchy.
Very catchy. And Angela Lansbury, she's just the best.
She's amazing.
Yes.
I love her so much.
I talked a lot about her too when I was in Torquay doing the Agatha Christie tour, just about Murder, She Wrote, and just about murder mysteries.
Murder, She Wrote.
And I know.
Oh.
It's not the best show. That was another show that
So good.
influenced me as a kid. I think that made me love murder mysteries, and I love that show. I was really close with my grandma growing up, which I think I've talked about before, she was very into British literature, and I lived in Scotland with her, and we would drink tea and watch Murder, She Wrote, and just
Sounds like the perfect life,
actually.
actually.
I know, right? I know. She was the best. I miss her. Okay. So Brittney and I, was it last night? No, what day is it? It's Tuesday?
It was 2 days ago.
2 days. Okay, so 2 days ago, Brittney and I went to Jane Austen's 250th birthday party for the greater Sacramento area of JASNA, which is the Jane Austen Society of North America, which when I first heard it, I thought they were talking about Jazz Night, and I was very, very confused.
Me too.
So JASNA, they put on this great party, and Brittney and I went with also Brittney's aunt, who's also been on my tours, and we had a blast.
So fun.
We dressed up, right?
Yes.
Brittney's dress was so cute. I loved it.
Last minute purchase, but we found something that works.
It was amazing. I wore a dress that I wore in Bath to dance, and my niece made it, and it was cute and comfy, and I definitely sweat through that thing. It's time to launder it.
It was surprisingly, I was surprised at how athletic it was to do those dances, because it doesn't seem like it would be, but it really is.
Yeah. Watching them on TV, you're like, oh, this is a cute little dance, but you're definitely breaking a sweat.
You're moving around. It's a good little cardio, medium range cardio exercise, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah, so they had dancing, which was great, and they had I guess you call it a caller, the dance caller.
Yes.
And she was great. She had a little microphone on her, and she walked us through all of the dances and how to do them, and they demonstrated the dances, and then we would perform the dances slowly, and like walk through them, and then we would put the music on. They had a live band there, so that was fun too.
Super fun.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we'd do them and try not to mess up too badly.
And we all did, and everyone laughed and had fun with it anyway.
And it was great. I wonder how many mistakes they made like in Jane Austen's time. If
Yeah.
they all knew those dances like by heart, they practiced at home. I'm sure they probably had those down, but I'm sure there were a few like Mr. Collins.
Oh, I'm sure there were mistakes.
Have
Yeah.
2 left feet, right?
Yeah, or you get super nervous or whatever. Yeah, but I bet you they rolled with it too.
Yeah. It was interesting how they were talking about the caller. I can't remember her name. They were talking about the dances, how during Jane Austen's time they moved from country dancing, which was like basically line dancing, but to like classical music.
Yeah.
And then they kind of transitioned into more of a waltz style dance,
Yes.
where like the man and the woman were touching each other, and without a chaperone, and that was kind of like a big deal.
Scandalous.
So scandalous, right? So I'm curious what kind of dances Jane Austen would have been doing more of a waltz, or if it would have been more of the country
I think she was
dancing.
right in that transition. So
Yeah.
her childhood was probably more the traditional,
Yeah.
and then it moved into the waltzing as she was an adult. So she was probably okay with it because she probably thought it was the latest, greatest,
Right.
coolest thing, you
Yeah.
know? But maybe her parents wouldn't have been as keen.
Approved. We were also talking about at the party because someone had a little book of manners, Jane Austen
Yes.
manners, and I know we talked about this during my last tour that Brittney's Aunt Shannon was on. We had a talk just about protocols during that time, and in the dancing, like if you went to a ball or a dance, you wouldn't be able to just like walk up and be like, oh, hey, my name's Vanessa. How are you doing? Nice to meet you. You would have to be introduced by a third party, right?
Yes.
And then you couldn't, it was like if you turned somebody away, like for a dance, if somebody asked you and you said no, then you couldn't dance for the rest of the night.
Right. And only men could ask women to dance.
Yeah.
So if you said no to one man, you were out.
Yes.
Which
And then-
is crazy
yeah,
to me.
it's
What's the
wild.
point then?
Yes.
Like, why would you? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'll have to fact check this, but I think during one of our talks we learned that if you danced with someone, you had to dance with them like for 2 dances. I think
Usually it was
like
could
2 or
be-
3 or
Yeah,
something.
depending on the sets maybe of the dance. Yeah, and
So
how it
there's-
was designed.
There was some kind of rule. So like saying yes to somebody was like committing, a good chunk of your night. I mean, because those dances kind of went on. So
Yeah.
yeah. So what else did we do at the party? Mostly just food, tea,
Tea in small bites, and
very small bites.
we all got some different books, which was fun.
Oh yeah, that was fun. Oh yeah, where are my bag of books?
I got a couple that were really fun. So speaking of Pride and Prejudice, especially in Jane Austen, and the whole idea of the dances and the waltzing, right, versus the traditional country dances, in one of my favorite adaptations of Pride and Prejudice. So it's the Pride and Prejudice timeline of the original book, but it's all from Darcy's perspective. It's my favorite series. It's a 3-book series. It's by Pamela Aiden, Aidan, I believe. And the first book is called An Assembly Such as This. The second
Okay,
is
I've heard of those.
Duty and Desire. And the last one is These Three Remain. My absolute hands-down favorite books. The audio is immaculate. If you're on Audible or wherever you get it, get those as well. I listen to them at least once a year. But in that story, Darcy and Bingley are in London. He's taken, Bingley away from Jane and from Elizabeth so they can reset, and, they don't want Bingley to fall in love with Jane or whatever. And so he takes him away. And so you're with Darcy during that time when they're apart in the book. And they go attend in an attempt to, try to distract himself from missing Elizabeth so much. They go to a ball that is held by, I think it's Lady Catherine Lamb and she was like with Lord Byron. If it's like they use some historical figures that are like real people in there. Anyway, she's hosting this grand event and things, and it's very fancy and very big. And the scandal of that dance is not only Miss Lamb's dress, which was inappropriate,
like immodest,
modest, but also they were dancing, they were waltzing.
Oh, interesting.
And that was the first time Darcy and Bingley had seen it.
And probably because they were in London, right? And
they were in London.
The
it was like the height of the season, and so it was the latest greatest thing. And Darcy was just like, I think he says it's indecent or something. And Bingley didn't know the dance, and he was like kind of sent to like entertain a young lady for a friend or something. So he's like, I didn't know what to do. So we just went over to the counter and started eating biscuits. Bingley says, he goes, I ate so many, I'm so full. Like I can't eat any more biscuits because I don't know this dance. Like
I don't know the dance. I'm going to go to the food table.
Yeah. And that's what, it was so funny. Anyway, if that gives you a little snippet, I would highly recommend reading that.
That's so funny. So is it all Pride and Prejudice, all 3 of the series, or are they different?
No,
it's all Pride and Prejudice.
It breaks it down. You are like every minute, and it's really, really good.
It must be more detailed than Pride and Prejudice. Then.
It is more detailed, yeah. And there's a lot of time. It kind of skips over that period of time when Elizabeth and Darcy aren't together. It kind of, speeds along the process. But you really go through what Darcy's going through, and you really get into his inner monologue and his inner struggle of like how much he just can't get her out of his head, and it's driving him crazy. Yeah. It's so funny.
Okay, so this is something that you are a good person to ask, and because I've heard this brought up multiple times, that Darcy was on the spectrum, and that's why he's so like socially awkward. And I don't know if we've talked about your podcast.
We haven't yet.
Okay, so bring that up.
Okay, well, backtrack just a second.
Sorry, I meant to talk about that first.
No, you're okay. So I have 4 kids, and 2 of my children are autistic. They've been diagnosed on the autism spectrum disorder. My 19-year-old son is very heavily impacted and very profound, needs like 24/7 supervision. He needs care. He'll need care for his entire life. And then my daughter, who's 11, she is more considered, like there's levels now. They keep changing the diagnosis process, but there's level 1, 2, and 3. My son is a level 3. My daughter's a level 1. And she attends a public elementary school, but she attends, part of her day is like in a special needs class, and then part of it's in her gen ed class, like with her peers. So she can kind of like go back and forth between the 2 worlds. She has language. My son does not speak at all. He's not speaking, that kind of thing. So we kind of truly have like the spectrum of autism in our house, like as far as different levels and abilities and like what we have to do to help care for them and help them, grow and learn and hopefully be able to take care of themselves someday. But anyway, so yeah, I consider myself a reluctant expert in the field of autism. I am not autistic myself. I cannot speak to the autistic experience like as a person, but I can speak to it from the caregiver side, and very intimately and very expertly, reluctantly expert. So yeah, that's kind of my like background in that. I have a podcast. It's called Moms Talk Autism. I run it with 3 other moms. We all live in different states in the U.S., and we've been doing it for 5 years. I always forget because we started it in January. So this will be I think we've completed 4 full years now.
Wow.
And so it's been a wild ride. We've met people all over the world. I'm heavily involved in a lot of caregiving communities for all disability, not just autism, but local groups, online groups, webinars, podcasting, like
you're such a great resource. Anybody that has a child with special needs that is just not feeling lost, like I was just talking to you about my sister-in-law, I send them to you because you're such a great resource and you're so well connected in the community.
Thank you. It's been a joy to when you finally get to a place, having a special needs child or being in that world of disability, it can be very isolating at times, regardless of your diagnosis. You can feel very alone and very isolated or cut off from typical life, I guess you could say. And once you start building that community and once you find that community, it broadens your world. It doesn't fix everything for you, but you're able to maybe look more ahead than just the next hour or the next day or the next week of just survival mode. Yeah. And then you're able to maybe even branch out and help other people. And I'm not there all the time. Yesterday, I couldn't do anything except survive the day. And today I'm here recording a podcast about British literature. So it just depends on what's going on in life, just like with anybody. But to be able to give back and like connect other moms and parents and caregivers and just be able to like speak on it with, my own personal experience. I'm not a licensed therapist or anything, but just be able to talk about it and help other moms maybe feel a little less alone. It's very gratifying and it fulfills a place in my heart. Like,
I think just people having someone else to talk to that has been there and gets it.
Yes, it's huge. Yeah. It helps you with your mental health so much. Yeah, You still have your issues, you still have your problems, you still and whatever, but at least you know you have other people out there. You're not doing it by yourself.
Yeah.
We can at least take that piece away for you.
Yes.
So.
Yeah. You're not the only person dealing with those things.
Yeah. Yeah. But Darcy
yeah, so
as an
what
autistic
do you
person,
think about that theory?
you know, I don't agree with it.
Okay.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't have the expertise to say. I'm like, to me, he's just like so awkward and rude, right? You know,
I
comes
think,
around.
I think what it mainly comes down to is, you know, he very well could have been. Who's to say?
I mean, there were, I'm assuming, you know, people with autism spectrum disorder back then, right?
I'm sure there were,
they
yes.
just obviously didn't have a diagnosis or, you know, knew what to call it.
And, quote, like higher functioning people could probably get by through society and do okay. The rigidity of the social circles back then probably was a little bit more helpful.
Yeah, right.
Being able to keep things routine and the rules and regulations, that sometimes if you're neurodivergent, that is a bomb and something that really kind of helps you navigate social situations because you know what to expect. It makes it more expected and more predictable, I guess.
That's true. I guess things are more free today than they were
Yeah,
back then, obviously.
yeah. And you know, but there's always variation in there. I would say no. Just I've read Pride and Prejudice many times.
Yeah.
I've read other books, obviously, as I've talked about. But to think that he's autistic, I would probably say no. And I draw a lot of my evidence would be from Elizabeth and Darcy's chat at Lady Catherine de Bourgh's house, where she chides him for not practicing, right? And he's very quick to point out that it's just not his personality
Right.
to be gregarious or
Yeah.
extroverted. I would consider Darcy to be an introverted personality,
Definitely.
as am I. So I relate a lot to Darcy in that way, that we are observed first and then we interact. And you add the fact that he has all of the power. He's one of the most powerful people in England. On top of that, it's going to, and then people will assume you're being aloof as opposed to maybe someone more like Bingley's an extrovert.
Yeah.
That's why they're such good friends, because they complement each other.
Yeah.
But it also gives you an air of possibly being standoffish or rude or hoity or whatever you want to call it.
And also maybe in that society when you had the money, you didn't have, you know, you had the luxury of acting like that, where
Absolutely, you
Elizabeth
did.
didn't have the luxury of, you know, she, you know, had less money and had to.
You had to make yourself more amenable to people. Yeah, and he talks about that too at the end of the book, where he's like, this is how I was taught to be. Like I was given good principles, but not told how to apply them correctly.
Yeah. Which we can all say about maybe some of our upbringing, right?
Absolutely.
Or how we're raising our children too, you know, like none of us are perfect. So
So I don't know. That's just me. I maybe there's more evidence, and I'm not basing that on any
I've heard that theory a few times. So I thought you'd probably be the best person to ask as a lover of Jane Austen and someone who knows all about that. So.
If you read the Pamela Aden books, you're going to even learn more.
Okay.
If that's your Darcy, it's definitely my Darcy.
Right.
He's not. He's a very involved, caring, warm individual who just is a little bit more guarded when he meets people for the first time. And that's all.
I can get that. I get that.
Yeah.
Does Pamela Aden, does she write anything else like from Jane Austen perspective?
I don't think so. I'm dying. Like,
I know, that would be so
that
great.
She would have kept writing things, but I don't think she did. And these are not new books either.
Okay.
They've been out for quite some time.
I've heard of them. I've not read those. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Check it out for sure.
Yes. Okay. Speaking of adaptations, I was going to pull out the books that everybody that went to the party got a different bag of books. I don't know that there were any repeats.
I don't think I saw
didn't
any
see
repeats,
which was like so impressive if you think.
Yeah.
There were like 100 people there.
I would say 75 to 100 people. Yeah.
And they all had a different bag of books, and they were all Jane Austen, and they probably had like 5 or 6 books per bag. So I got Mr. Darcy's Obsession by Abigail Reynolds. It looks maybe like a bodice ripper. I'm not sure. I'm gonna find out.
Hope so.
I'm gonna find out. It looks fun.
If it is, you'll have to let me borrow it.
I can't remember which books you got.
I got one that was called Mr. Darcy, Vampire.
Oh, that sounds fun too.
I flipped through it. It starts the day of their wedding, and Elizabeth realizes that Darcy is more than what he seems, and he's been hiding more things.
Okay, I'm gonna have to borrow that.
So I don't know. I have no idea the quality of it. I don't know the author now.
We're not recommending these books. These are just books that we got for free.
Yeah.
So.
That was the most one I was like, okay, this looks like a ride.
I don't know. I'd be into that. I'm into vampires. You know my obsession with
I am
Twilight,
too.
right?
I mean, it's once again a product of our upbringing.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely. Okay, this one's Jane Austen Visits London. It's by Vera Quinn. It looks kind of cool. It just has like all the places
Little
that
novella.
she went. You know, 'cause she went to London a few times to see her publisher and all that. Mm-hmm. And then what else did I get? This is like a magazine. Jane Austen Regency World. Looks like a magazine.
that's kind of cool.
I just thought it was neat how everyone got different books and they were all just completely different, but
Yeah.
all Jane Austen spin-offs, you know. Just inspired so many people. Love it. Okay, why do you think Jane Austen still resonates so much 250 years later?
This is a fabulous question. There's whole books and seminars and college courses on this.
Yes.
I believe. And I tend to agree with the experts. She speaks on relationships and she's a social commentator.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's about, she's commenting on society in a very cheeky way.
Very cheeky.
And but it's subtle. It's not with a heavy hand. And so that's where the expertise and just the genius of it is because she did it in such a slight, it's like a watercolor painting, right? It's just very subtle and like pretty and abstract almost. But then when you step back a little bit and look at the whole picture, you're like, there's a lot to say here.
Yeah, a lot.
And
podcasts worth, right?
Podcasts worth, exactly. And she still, a lot of those same things that they were doing in this very rigid, very structured, very gender-based, class-based society, you know, very monochromatic. Everyone's white, you know, like we don't have a lot of culture or diversity or anything. But even in that, there's still so much that you can glean from that and pull into to today's society, which is very, very different when you look at it at the surface. But still, some of those same things still come up over and over and over again.
Absolutely. I have a whole podcast episode about you know, basically how our society, you know, kind of mirrors that, even though it's so different. But we still have a lot of the same.
There's still so much overlap.
Yeah, exactly, especially in relationship and dating and
love.
You know, love. Yeah, that's why you know we can watch Pride and Prejudice and still like get giddy about it, right?
Yeah,
we get that. Another thing that you know, I talked about this on a previous podcast, but that she basically invented the free and direct style, where she's, you know, the narrator is speaking, but you're also getting like Elizabeth's thoughts from the narrator. Which, I mean, I don't know if she did that intentionally or if it was just how her brain worked, you know, but
hopefully both, probably both, right?
Yeah. So it's just, I don't know. It's just so impressive to me. Okay. So transitioning. So Brittney and I went and saw Hamnet last week in the movie theaters, and let's just talk about what we thought about it. Neither of us have read the book.
No.
So we don't really have anything to compare it to. So I apologize, but you know, we heard lots of things about the book.
Yes.
We know a lot about Shakespeare. What were your first impressions about Hamnet?
So it was directed by Chloe Zhao, and she's directed a few movies that I've liked. So I was a little nervous going in because I've seen some of her works before. Do you
know what other movies she does?
She did the. Do you guys watch Marvel? You guys probably don't watch any of the Marvel stuff. She did the Eternals.
Okay.
Which was not well received. It wasn't one of the best Marvel movies.
That's why I haven't seen it.
Probably not. And I can't think of all the other ones off the top of my head. She did Nomadland. That one, that was critically acclaimed. But yeah, so I was a little nervous going in. But Chloe Zhao is she tends to have a lot of her movies tend to have a lot of nature. Nature is a huge theme in all of her films, along with you know, and when you focus on nature, there's a lot of environmentalism and kind of that the mystique and the spiritualism around nature.
And there definitely was a lot of that in Hamnet.
Ton of it. And so I don't know how much of that is in Hamnet. I believe there is some. I've read some synopses and things about the book. I've listened to other critics talk about the book, but I have not read it myself. But yeah, it sounds like that is also in the novel, but she really highlighted it and really talked a lot about, or showed a lot about that in the visuals of the story and the cinematography and things, which I thought was super, super cool. But what made me really want to see it is, like, I don't know, I just love Shakespeare, and I I saw probably just the trailer and just
Yeah.
knowing what I did about the book, I knew it was going to be a sad story.
We brought the tissues.
We got spoilers here, right? We're going to talk about
Yeah,
spoilers.
Yeah. Spoilers.
Okay. Spoilers for Hamnet. Definitely go see the movie first if you don't want to be spoiled. But yeah, it's a very sad, tragic story. And it's based on like the tiniest little bit of like historical truth.
Yeah.
Because we really don't know anything, hardly anything about Shakespeare, and certainly about his wife or his children or his family.
I think we know that he had a son that died.
Yes.
We knew his name was Hamnet.
Yes.
That is basically all that we knew.
And he lived in London most of the time, and his family did not.
Yeah.
And that's kind of it, really.
If you've never read the book, Shakespeare, I think The World is Stage by Bill Bryson, read that and you will find out how little we know about Shakespeare. Brittney read it for our tour
I did.
a couple years ago. So it's, you learn nothing, but you learn how much like nobody knows, but you learn a lot about the time. But it's really good.
And the rest is just conjecture, and that's okay. It's okay to just have a story based on maybe a couple of like snippets of information, and then
There's a lot of historical fiction like that, right?
Yeah, of course, most of it is. But it's fascinating, and we knew it would be a sad story. We brought a whole box of Kleenex with us. We definitely used them, and but it was beautiful. It was visually very satisfying to watch. I felt like it felt like I was watching, I don't know how to describe it better. It felt like watching a Shakespeare play, but in movie form. Like it had a lot of theatrical feels to it. Now, the last scene of the movie is literally in the Globe Theater watching
that was cool.
Parts of the Hamlet production. So yes, there's that. But even just like being in Stratford-upon-Avon with the family and the kids are interacting, or, Shakespeare and his dad are together, or whatever it is, it felt very like stage-like in some aspects.
Yeah, I like how you were telling me earlier. It's almost like one person will like walk off the screen, another person will walk on. Just the way that people were moving.
The camera didn't necessarily pan and follow people; it would stay stagnant,
exactly,
and people would move in and out of the frame of the camera.
Yeah, more like watching a stage versus
watching the stage. That's how it works for stage. So it wasn't like that in every single scene, but it certainly was. It was, I think it was purposeful. I think it was done that way on purpose to kind of harken back to that feeling. And I noticed that, and I really, really liked that. I loved the use of color in the movie too. Yeah. Shakespeare's wife. So in the book, or in the book and in the movie, they called her Anya. I think it was Anya. Agnes.
I don't know how I couldn't figure out how they were saying it.
Yeah,
why are they?
It was a couple different ways, but
like Agnes, but like Anya. I don't know
like that.
How they were saying it.
But it's also Anne. Like if you read her name in books, it's Anne Hathaway is what her name.
There was just like a lot of liberties with names back then,
and I think it was
like Hamnet and Hamlet are the same name, and Agnes and Anne are the same name. Stuff like that.
I guess that's just how they rolled back then.
I guess so.
Nicknames or whatever. But yeah, she was always in a deep, like warm color, like
a red or orange,
deep orange or a red or like a brown, and that was her color. And William Shakespeare was always in like a blue or a gray greens, or a green. Yeah, and it was so interesting to kind of see how that worked with the backgrounds of stuff, and the outdoor scenes with the trees, and I don't know, we can get into all of that too if you want. But
yeah, it was very, very nature focused. I mean, the whole like premise at the beginning is she's kind of like this like forest witch, right?
Yeah,
that's what they call her, I think. And
that's if you're being derogatory, that's what you would call her. But she's a healer. She's one with nature. She understands.
Yeah, she goes out into the woods to have her babies, and she's definitely very connected to nature. Which is interesting because there's a lot of nature in Shakespeare's plays as well. I did love the scene at the end where like Hamlet is being performed and she's watching, and at first she's like, I don't get it, I don't get it. This isn't like, why, this isn't about my son, right?
It was more than just like, I don't understand. She was angry because she thought it was almost like blasphemous. What she thought, her husband had named this play after their dead child and was treating it lightly or irreverently, I guess. And that wasn't necessary. When she calmed down and saw what the play was really about, she realized, oh no, this is a tribute to him.
Yeah, exactly. So. And that whole scene at the end, oh my gosh, where
guys, I was sobbing.
I know, where Hamnet is like, I mean, he's already dead, right? The little boy, and he's like the cutest little boy too.
He's such a good job.
Oh my gosh, so cute. And then we figured out too, it's like some little trivia was the boy that played Hamnet, and then the teenager, I guess, that played Hamlet at the end, they were brothers, right?
Yes, in real life.
In real life, they were brothers, which was cool because they looked similar,
Yeah.
right? Anyways, the Hamlet little boy was so cute, but there's this, whole scene where he's like, he's dead already, but he like, they portray him as he's like kind of like trapped in this like stage, and he's like crying, and then at the end of the play, he kind of like his spirit is released or whatever,
Yeah.
kind of like
He's able to move on.
I'm gonna cry thinking about it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It was really beautiful. It was very like metaphorical, very, very artistic. But
I've heard a lot of critics kind of ding it for being a little too on the nose or a little too very direct, kind of banging you over the head with it. But I don't know. It didn't bother me in this production. I thought the emotion was high enough. I didn't feel like I was being manipulated for manipulation's sake. I felt like it was purposeful and there was a reason. I don't know. And maybe it's just because of my own grief process of whatever I'm going through, but I felt it was very cathartic. So I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I enjoyed it as well. It was good for a good cry,
Yeah.
Even if you're not a crier.
I am, and I'm not. But I loved, sometimes it's good.
Yeah, it'll make you feel, at least. Even if you don't cry, it'll make you feel for sure.
For sure.
It was good. Okay, let's see. Oh, let's talk about the relationship between Agnes, or I don't know how you say her name, I'm sorry, and Shakespeare. She was several years older than him, and
in real life.
In real life,
yes.
I feel like in the movie he looked like he was like 35 years old, and he's supposed to be like 18 or something when they get married.
Oh, okay.
And supposedly she was pregnant when they got married, so that I feel like they portrayed that correctly. But I did love their relationship. It was very much like, and I doubt this really was how it was at the time, but
yeah.
it was like she would see what he needs and he would see what she needs. It was definitely more of a modern type of relationship where I don't think back then it was really like that, but we could pretend, right?
It seemed like it was a very much a mutual partnership built on love and respect, and they really truly supported each other. She really supported him in his dreams of becoming a playwright and what he needed to feel. He was a tortured, he's portrayed as a tortured artist, very much, and in a horrible situation with his father, and just needing to do other things to feel like he can even live, whereas she was also misunderstood in her own way, with her herbs and modern medicine, what we consider
right
true medicine, and being able to really help people with their ailments. Back then it was seen as witchcraft. And so, but they accepted each other completely for who they were, and that's a very modern
very very modern. I hope that's the relationship that they had. I don't know, I mean, she did get the second best bed, so I don't know. But beds were really expensive back then, so I mean, maybe his first best bed, I don't know who that went to, but I don't know. Oh yeah, I was going to talk about Shakespeare as a father in the movie too. Like he's portrayed, at least, that he loves his kids, loves spending time with them.
Best dad ever,
right? Which also, I don't know if that's how it was, but I mean, I have to think if he wrote an entire play kind of, dedicated to his son that passed away, that I have to think that there was some affection there, even though he lived apart from his family. Yeah,
some kind of relationship. There's definitely affection and love there, in whatever way that was portrayed for them. Yeah, I'm not sure.
The actual death scene was like horrendous.
Yeah, it really was.
It was like, it was really, really gut wrenching. Because they've got the plague, right? Like the twins. And,
yes.
And then the sister. It's just, okay.
It was a lot. I want to say once again, all the kids were amazing actors. This is a really small cast of people in this much like a play. And so there weren't a lot of like extras or like large, crowded scenes or a lot of characters in the movie itself. But those kids, man, they found the best kids to play those parts. Really, really heavy, hard, like emotional, deep parts, and they did that beautifully. And it was so hard to watch, but I did love that scene because that little boy carried that scene. He's alone with his sister, who's very, very ill and not conscious. I don't even think she's barely cohesive, and he's the one carrying this death scene by himself. It was gut-wrenching, but at the same time, like, I was so enthralled and impressed that it didn't like destroy me.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I'm curious how long that took to film,
I would be curious to know as well. We'll have to watch a behind the scenes or something.
It must have been a emotionally devastating film to see, for the kids. I mean, I know you're just acting, but still, I mean, I have kids that are in theater, and you really get into those roles, I think, especially when you're
take a few days to get out of it again, I imagine.
Yeah. I think about like Heath Ledger and Joker, right? And how that affected him. And
exactly.
Oh, let's talk about the plague and how it shaped the story. We kind of talked about that already with them, but just everything. I like the whole, like the OCD, like germaphobe in me was like, oh my gosh, there's a plague, like don't go near them, and like the moms all over. I mean, obviously you would be with your kids, but I don't know about like how much they knew about germ theory or anything like that.
I don't think they knew anything. I don't think germ theory really came into play until the 1800s.
Years later,
yeah,
right?
I don't think it was a thing.
You can see why everybody got sick. We just don't know. I mean, I'm sure they knew to stay away, but I don't know. I'm just like, don't breathe. Oh no, like don't let the kids sleep, in the same bed.
Yeah. Disinfect. Yeah. They had no clue what any of that meant.
No, they did not.
Oh, I always watch things from back then. I thought they did a I thought they did a good balance because it is a movie. We are in modern day. You don't want to gross anyone out.
Right.
At the same time, you want it to be somewhat historically accurate, or at least like you don't want it to be completely take you out of the movie where you're like, well, yeah, there's a cell phone in the back corner over there, and then whatever, or a water bottle or something. But I think they did a fairly decent amount of like showing how dirty everything can be without being like disgusting.
Yeah, like the muddy streets.
Lots of muddy streets, lots of muddy hems, lots of like hands that had dirt under their fingernails.
Yeah, that's very true.
It was good to see a little touch of that, and the clothes were never like pristine. Everything was a little rumpled, and
the houses too.
Yeah, the houses seemed very lived in.
I don't know. I'll have to look and see where they filmed this, but I just went to Anne Hathaway's house this last year, and the interior shots of where she is, like, interacting with her family before she gets married, looked so much like the actual interior of, I mean, obviously it's kind of been, parts of it have been redone, but I was wondering if they had filmed it in there because it looked so...
I wouldn't be surprised.
I was like, wow, that's like I was just there. So I'll have to go look and see where they filmed some of that. And actually in Anne Hathaway's house... Right now, there are orchards, and you can buy honey, and
that's cool.
So when she was like walking through the orchards there, like the farmland there, I was like, oh, it's actually still kind of like that, surprisingly. So
there's a little scene with the honeybees too.
Yep, exactly.
In the movie, yeah.
Yep. So you can buy honey from Anne Hathaway's house if you go to Stratford. If you go on my tour. Okay, all right. I don't want to say anything more about Hamnet.
I would just go see it if you can. Go see it with a friend if you can, someone who you trust to see you cry. And I will say, like, if pacing is an issue, I know for all you young people who, social media, every 15 seconds you have to have something different in front of your face. Like, I'm just as prone to that as anyone else. It is a slower moving plot at the beginning. I promise it's worth it. Take your time, put your phone down. If you can't go see it in the theater, please put your phone away, really pay attention, really enjoy, watch it in a dark room so the colors and the ambiance and the music and all of it comes together. And then that last 30 minutes, put your phone on Do Not Disturb if you haven't had the willpower to put it down, and just live in the moment. It's so good. I can't wait to watch it again.
Yeah, I'm ready to watch it again. Is it out yet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I haven't seen it anywhere. But yeah, I'm excited to watch it again.
Hopefully by the time you publish this, it will be out.
That's true. Okay. All right. So Brittney's been on my book club tour. Do you want to talk a little bit about your experience? And it's been, what did you go, 2023? So it's been a couple years, about 2.5 years. But I think you had a good time.
Oh my gosh, I had the best time. It's the best trip I've ever been on in my life. I'm not exaggerating. I'm not just saying that because I'm sitting here with you. I absolutely loved it. It was a dream come true. Like you and I are very similar. We like many of the same things. So for you've made a tour that you would enjoy. And since I love all the things you love, I enjoyed it, of course. So I went with my mom. And she's also a bibliophile and a British bibliophile. So
she's delightful.
Yes, we had a blast. We got to experience it together. It's something we still talk about often.
Aww.
And we just had a wonderful experience. We went in September, and we had the best weather.
Yeah.
We had
like one day of rain, right?
One day of rain. We were there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
One
Happened
day,
to be the one day we were boating, but
yes, that was an experience. But
memorable, right? Either a good time or a good story.
It was a very good story. I still talk about that today too, because there was spiders as well.
Oh, yes.
It was a whole experience. We can talk about it more if you want, but yeah, we survived to tell the tale. And but yeah, I mean, just to have such beautiful weather the whole time. We ended up buying like summer clothes when we were there because we packed all this like kind of layers and like sweatshirts and things. It's September.
You never know.
You never know.
I was just there in July and we had more rain and it was cold. So you just
never know. So, but we were so hot all the time. I ended up buying a couple of beautiful dresses there in Bath.
Darn, you had to shop in England. That's the worst.
I still wear them. I love them so much.
know.
I take very, very good care of them because I don't ever want to, not have those dresses. It's a souvenir I can always carry with me, and I get to wear every once in a while.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. It's the best when someone's like, oh, where did you get your dress? In England.
In England. Sorry. And they don't ship.
Sounds so
Sorry.
pretentious.
Yeah.
Oh, it's funny. Well, I'm glad you came on my tour. I'm glad your mom came. And then your aunt also came on my last tour, on my Austen and Agatha tour. So that was really fun. And she came to the Jane Austen Regency party with us 2 days ago. And that was super fun too. So
She loves all that kind of stuff too.
yes, it was so much fun. And she had a lot of fun with it. She knew way more Agatha Christie stuff than I did.
Oh, okay.
Like she was kind of like sparring with the guide because she knew so much.
Go
She knew
Shannon.
almost-
Good
I know.
for her.
I was really impressed. I was like, man, you really did your research. It's impressive. It was really fun. Okay. What's the most memorable location that we visited on your tour?
Okay, this is not fair. This is not a fair question because
Hard to answer.
it's super hard to answer. You packed so much into that trip. That was the best part, is I felt like I really got to see so much. If I had tried to plan something like that, I would have gotten maybe not even half of what you got in. Yeah. But you've really fine-tuned it to see a lot of things. So we started off in London, and then our first spot was Bath. And we stayed there for 3 days, but that was kind of like the hub, and we would go out every day and go see something else and then come back to Bath in the evenings. So Jane Austen spent a little bit of time in Bath, and so that was kind of the reason why we were there. Yeah. But she historically, famously, infamously did not like Bath. Yeah. But there's so many cool things there. Just the history around the city itself, or the township, or whatever it is amazing. And there's so many cute shops, and they've really cater to the tourist there. Yes. I could spend a week in Bath and you would see so much and still have so much fun. We did the spa, the thermal spa there, the Roman spas, Roman baths. We took in the waters.
The waters, yes.
As Jane would say. And that was super fun. And then we went to Jane Austen's home and her brother's home. That was really cool. That was probably I don't want to say least favorite because I loved everything, but that was lower on the list for me just because I kind of knew so much about that already. Yeah. Everybody has their own version of, like, if you didn't know any much about Jane Austen, that would probably be super fascinating. But I knew enough about that wasn't as interesting as some of the other things I saw. Yeah,
you probably learned a lot more of the other locations.
Exactly. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that. The Lake District with Beatrix Potter was amazing. And then I think the part that I don't know, I really love Bath. I want to go back to Bath just to see that and just experience that on its own. But oh my goodness, the name is escaping me. The Darcy's house.
Oh, Chatsworth.
Pemberley. That was a religious experience for me. It was amazing. I loved the house. I loved being inside the house. It was so overwhelming. It was almost huge. Too much. Huge. I couldn't take it all in. I think I would need to go back. But where I really had my religious experience, was walking the grounds. And I went off. My mom and I did a lot of stuff together, but I just took off on my own. And I walked around by myself for probably a couple of hours.
The grounds are gorgeous.
And I just took it all in, and I just quietly reflected to myself. And it was the perfect day outside. We really lucked out that way. I wore my dress that I bought in Bath, and I just soaked it all in. And that was probably the most meaningful and memorable experience for me, was doing that part. As far as like learning new things or experiencing stuff, we went and saw Macbeth at the Globe Theater.
That's right.
And I loved it. It was a slightly modern take on the play. It was not done in period as specific. It was more of a, I don't know.
It was like a futuristic, like kind of like almost alien sort of take on it.
It was definitely more modern day, but it didn't really have like a specific time period, I guess you would say.
It just felt futuristic to me.
The witches were men. in that one, and they wore hazmat suits.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
And you're thinking, okay, this sounds so like
I know.
stupid. No, it worked. It worked.
Every time I see something at the Globe, I'm like, this is gonna be weird. Like they just did like Romeo and Juliet Western style,
like cowboy style.
Yeah, like American Western style.
Okay,
yes.
Yeah.
And then what was it? The Tempest. They did like Love Island style. Like the main guy was probably 70 years old. He was wearing a yellow Speedo. I'm not kidding.
But it worked.
It worked. Right?
I don't know. They know what they're doing.
Every
there.
time I'm like, oh, I don't know. Like even Macbeth, I was like, oh, I don't know how to feel about like
Macbeth's a very bloody, sad, like tragic play.
But I was so impressed that they put so much humor into it.
Yeah, they really did.
I was really impressed because I was like, I'm gonna be bored. You know, I love Shakespeare, but I'm more into like the comedies, the love stories.
Me too.
So I was like, I don't know how this is gonna be, but I ended up loving Macbeth.
I absolutely loved it. I learned so much because I did a little research. I wanted to make sure I really understood the play so that then I could just soak it in and not be like, what's happening here?
Yeah.
Like I just wanted to enjoy it. So glad we did that. The best thing you can do this is happy accident, but if you are going to go see Shakespeare, especially over in England or a period performance, and you're like, I'm not really familiar with the story, you can read the play. That would be ideal. Yeah. That's wonderful.
Or even a synopsis.
But read a children's book on it.
Yeah. Remember we had I brought it. It was the Usborne. Like I have them on my shelf over there.
I have
somewhere.
them too. I brought a copy too. And on our way to London to go see the play, we read the children's story out loud to everybody
in the bus, right?
And it made the experience so much better for all of us to just kind of have it in our head in a way that made like in modern day English,
Absolutely.
So anyway, that was really cool. I just love that. And another like kind of just moment I had. We were all together, but we went to Sherwood Forest.
Oh yeah,
we saw the Robin Hood tree.
That.
And it was just, I don't know, we were there for like an hour. Yeah. Like it was just
it was like a bathroom break.
Bathroom break thing. But it was so fun. I loved it. And then we went through the 100-acre wood with, A.A. Milne and Pooh's Corner and all that. I don't know. I just loved all those little like kind of English countryside, like in the woods moments that we had.
Yeah, especially with good weather.
And it was amazing weather. So it was, it was wonderful. And I really loved going to the Brontes and all of their home and being able to is that how you say it? That's not how you say Bronte, is it?
No, either way, you can say it either way. Either way is acceptable.
I'm saying it wrong. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
But they're just hearing more about their childhood and their home and just really learning more about the siblings, not just the girls, but their brother,
especially Branwell,
and just
crazy Branwell.
Oh man, it was really quite tragic. It reminded me a lot of the Hamlet movie, actually,
right?
in some
ways. A lot
of
tragedy, a lot of death.
It's no wonder they wrote the way they did. Those girls had so many emotions and feelings, and just they just had to get them out. It's like it was going to like ruin them if it was going to destroy them if they didn't get it on the paper, and you can just feel that when you're there and reading their stories. So. Yeah,
Brittney and I are going to go see the new Wuthering Heights next month.
Oh, is it next month?
It's February. It comes out, I think, Valentine's Day. Yeah, so we're gonna go see that, right?
We are. I'm
making her see all of the Brit Lit adaptations with me. We're gonna watch Romeo and Juliet.
You're not making me do anything. I am more than happy to.
We watched Much Ado. What was it? A couple months ago.
Yes.
Much Ado About Nothing.
Had a blast.
Yeah, it was great.
Emma Thompson.
We decided that we need to watch all of the Shakespeares, all of the Jane Austen. We're gonna watch everything, and then we're gonna come chat about it.
Let's do it. Yeah, I'm so excited to do this. Like, I don't have another outlet, another person. I can talk to my mom about it, and I love to talk about it with her, but I don't have like another person locally here who I can like geek out about this stuff with. So I'm
always happy to geek out about this.
Me too. It brings me so much happiness and joy.
So glad. Well, thanks for coming on my podcast.
Anytime. I loved it. Thank you for having me.
So fun. Tell us one more time where we can find your podcast.
Yes. So it's called Moms Talk Autism. You can just Google that. The website is that. The Instagram is @Moms Talk Autism. Go to Apple Podcasts, type it in, we pop right up. There's a picture of us 4 ladies. There's myself and 3 co-hosts. You'll see us. We're like all sitting down, all cute, in coordinating outfits.
Love it.
And that's us. So yeah, and we've got we're close to 250 episodes deep now on a variety of different subjects. Some of them are just us talking, us moms. A lot of them are professionals and experts or other moms from all over the world talking about disability and caregiving and the good, the bad, and the ugly. So
it's amazing. What a great resource.
Thank you.
I'm so glad you did that. All right. Thank you, Brittney. Thanks for coming.